Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to WatchYouWant.com. Thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the ultimate power broker's power watch, worn by the famous and infamous, the notable and the notorious. This is the Rolex Day-Date, better known as the President. This is the one that made Rolex dress watches famous. Not a tool watch, not a professional watch, unless your job happens to be world domination. The Rolex President became famous in 1956 upon its release because it was the first automatic winding watch with a day and a date, and it's that simple. Since then, only produced in precious metal, the watch hasn't changed all that much. Mechanical refinements have been made, small refinements have been made to the quality of the clasp and the bracelet and the case, but the style has not changed, and that is so key to the appeal of this watch, because whether the date is 1956, 1976, 2006, and I'm willing to bet in the year 2056 for the Day-Date Centennial, this model you see here, the reference Day-Date 118238, is still going to look just as fresh and will be recognizable as that first debuted during the Eisenhower administration. Now, worn by every president from Kennedy to Ronald Reagan, this watch has bipartisan approval, to be sure. This is the ultimate statement watch. Before sports watches and luxury watches went offshore, before the Big Bang, this was the one to have, and to this day it remains an icon and a classic. This watch doesn't have to try too hard to impress. It doesn't need outlandish proportions. It doesn't need to be associated with your favorite football team. It doesn't need race car drivers to endorse it. When you're on the wrist of the leaders of the free world, and I should add, most of the rest of the world for that matter, you just don't need co-branding. The bottom line is that this watch lives up to the legend. It doesn't need hype. This is the Rolex 6-digit reference, 118238, so it's what's known as the double quickset. Now, that hasn't always been the case with these watches. When it first debuted, you would need an army of White House servants or handlers because you had to spin the watch through 24-hour cycles to advance the day and, of course, the date. So if you let the watch run down, you could be there for a while. Now, today, they realize that a world leader's time is valuable, so the double quickset means that in the second setting position, you can cycle through the date, turn it in the other direction, and you can cycle through the day. So this is the ideal combination of classical style with the modern movement and technology. And the technology is first rate. You get Rolex's Parachrome Blue anti-magnetic, thermally resistant, shock-resistant hairspring. You get a COSC chronometer certified movement. Rolex has certified more chronometers with the Swiss COSC, the Contrôle Officiel Suisse des Chronomètres, than any other company, and probably more than any other two companies combined. That means the watch has met third-party standards for accuracy, isochronism, and overall precision. Plus, Rolex recertifies to COSC specs when the movements go into cases at their factory, and that measure is not something that's universal on other brands' chronometer watches. Now, although this is a dress watch, it's also an oyster case dress watch. Twin-lock crown, it's water-resistant to 100 meters. So, although it's not a dive watch, and I wouldn't take it down to the Andrea Doria, the bottom line is it can go anywhere that your GMT Master 2, your Explorer 2, or your Daytona would go. So if you do want to wear gold in the sand, this is the way to go with it. And this watch is up to it. Automatic winding, very rugged, durability is a Rolex hallmark. And inside the case, this watch is just as tough as any Submariner. Now outside the case, you'll see the distinctions that have made this a legendary reference. Like I said, it doesn't change too much, because Rolex doesn't mess with what works, so you don't have to worry about the planned obsolescence that afflicts a lot of voguish brands today. With Rolex, and especially with the Day-Date, which has been the same size case and same profile since debut, that just doesn't happen. This example has beautiful yellow gold hands, yellow gold apply indexes, a Soleil sunburst dial. You can see that little light propeller rotating across the dial, showing its grained texture. It also has a beautiful Roman numeral outer sector dial or railroad track. There are applied indexes, but then there are small Romans just outboard of each. Real delicate detailing, the graining, the text, the applied Rolex 5-point coronet, the applied gold elements, gold hands, and then that sector dial with the Romans, giving way to a traditional fluted precious metal Rolex bezel. Anytime you see a fluted bezel on a Rolex, you know that at the very least that bezel is made of precious metal. And it continues here throughout this Rolex 18-karat yellow gold case. Now, Rolex smelts its own gold. They're somewhat unique in many ways, but one more way that they're unique is that they own their own foundry. So all gold is blended to their spec. All the cases and bracelets are made in-house. And again, with the ability to smelt their own gold, they control the process like none other. This is the President bracelet. So while the watch itself is confusingly nicknamed President, but called the Day-Date, The bracelet really is called the President. It's a 3-link design, polished center links, brushed outer links, very secure. I feel it's a little bit more substantial in the hand and a little bit more supple on the wrist. And just to recap, my wrist is 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters for our metric friends. Bonjour. Wears very flat, wears very secure. It's a great style for all wrist sizes. But the President itself is a very supple design and very secure. And with the signature crown clasp, it has less visual mass than the Oysters. Closes with a thunk. The bottom line is that there's really nothing to suggest the break in the bracelet, and it doesn't have the hefty side profile that the Oysters have, so it becomes pretty seamless when it's closed, and that crown clasp with the 5-point coronet to mark the division is as iconic as the bracelet and the watch itself. So Rolex is really stacking its icons here. It's like a religious experience for your Rolexophiles out there. This is an outstanding example of a 6-digit reference double quickset Rolex 18-karat yellow gold 118238 Day-Date. Available from watchyouwant.com with full boxes, papers, and all Rolex factory accessories. You do not want to miss this one because not only does it portray the best of Rolex's past and present, but with 2 full years of Rolex factory warranty left on it, it also bodes well for your future with the watch. Now, this watch was purchased in January of 2015, so it is right off the plane from Geneva. Just about the entire factory warranty on the filled-out warranty card comes with this watch when you buy it from watchyouwant.com. This is as good as it gets, a new Rolex, but you won't pay the boutique or the authorized dealer's MSRP here. You're getting everything without the price of admission, and you're getting a tremendous watch that pays real deference to history. It was trendy in '56, it was awesome in '76, it was the bomb in 2006. Buy this Rolex 6-digit 118238 Day-Date today, and I guarantee if you're still wearing it for the Day-Date Centennial in 2056, and if you're going to wear any watch for the next 50 years, this is the watch you want. Check out this Rolex 6-digit reference double quickset 18-karat yellow gold Day-Date on our website, watchyouwant.com.